success, dreams in the making. I grinded for it seems like an eternity. Now I know what it takes to make it. EYG the label, EYG the brand. EYG the label, and EYG the brand. Just elevate your grind. Exclusive young G's with the city on our back. Grinding through the mud, climb up out the strong. Elevated status on done. EYG the label, EYG the brand.
And they
yes, sir.
Yo.
We back. Episode
like
5, the EYG Roundtable podcast, man. We back. See, we got a familiar face back in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Representative Gray is back. Man, you had a busy week, bro.
I did, man. You know, last week of session, trying to get bills passed, and I got the yoga bill passed, man. And so it felt great. And so I brought it on home. So you know,
it's official.
That's right.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yes, sir.
So
when it got passed, like how did that process go? Like did they call you? Like how did you find out?
So usually they send out like a press release, and then when they send a press release out, then you know the media starts rolling, and then I kind of knew that was gonna pass anyway because you only had so many days to actually pass the bill, and it'll be hard for the veto a bill since session went in. So it was just a waiting game, and then as soon as it passed, people start reaching out to you and you start seeing it on social media. And so it become like a media frenzy then. And then everyone wants to do an interview. Everyone wants to have some kind of comment from you. So it was a surreal moment. Yes, sir.
What went viral?
Yes, sir.
Everybody want to be first at that point.
That's right.
But MSNBC was first, right?
Well, it was like the biggest thing that I did that week. A lot of the other ones was just like interviews, phone interviews, emails, just hitting quotes. So that one was like, okay, that's for real. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I got to hit my staff up because I got to get right for this. Because, you know, I got a little nervous.
Bro, that's the real deal, man. Like, I was doing an interview for somebody else's podcast, and you had called and told me about it. So when I heard her mention yoga in the background, I was like, oh, this is it. So I paused what I was doing and I just tuned in, man. But for those of you who haven't seen it, I got the video for y'all. Let me pull this thing up.
Governor Kay Ivey signed a bill that lifted the ban on yoga in schools, but with specific guidelines like prohibiting the use of the word namaste, which is very odd. Joining me now is Alabama State Representative Jeremy Gray, who fought for that legislation and who, I should add, is also a former yoga instructor himself. Thank you so much for being here on a Friday night.
Oh, thank you for having me today.
So what changed your Republican colleagues' minds about yoga in schools?
Well, when I first brought it in 2019, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I ended up getting the bill out of committee, and it was voted the deadest bill or the runner-up for the deadest bill in session. So I spent a lot of time really educating my colleagues. I built a coalition. And in politics, when your constituents are getting onto you or they're complaining about yoga, you hear them because those are votes. So when I came back in 2020, I was able to pass the bill out of the House, but due to COVID, I wasn't able to get the bill to the Senate. So in 2021, I was able to advance it through the House and the Senate, and the governor signed it yesterday. So it's been a journey.
That is a journey. Do you see the fight to pass this legislation as a part of Republican culture wars?
Well, I would just say Republican, but more of your conservative groups. A lot of Republicans was on board with it. But when the conservatives came out and started talking about imagery and hypnosis and Hinduism, it really scared a lot of them. And so that was really the pushback. And I had to kind of stand firm. I'm glad that I was a yoga instructor, so I can kind of guide my colleagues on what are the myths and really educate them. And once I was able to do that, I was able to gain 3/5 of the House and the Senate to pass this bill.
So it's been a really long year. It's been hard because we're so isolated from one another through this pandemic. And I have to say, hot yoga classes, in-person yoga classes, I miss very deeply. How have you used yoga to keep sane throughout this pandemic year?
It's funny you say that. During the pandemic, I actually contracted COVID. And through breathing exercises and, walking and meditation, I was able to really boost my respiratory system. And I was able to get through COVID without any kind of real damage. And I think that it really helped when you talk about the stress and the anxiety and all the things that happened through this pandemic that put people in shock. So I think this was a really good thing. I think that a lot of educators really wanted this bill during the pandemic and virtual learning. And so all in all, I think that it was really useful in this pandemic.
I think those are pictures we're showing of your yoga class there in that B-roll. In terms of, how you would encourage others to practice yoga and to take up meditation, why do you find it so helpful? You said it helped you get through this pandemic and COVID itself, but why else does it help you?
I think it has two benefits. It has a physical benefit when you talk about flexibility, alignment of the body, core stability, all of those things that keep you healthy and strong. But it also has a mental component to help with those daily stressors, that anxiety. Sometime in life, we're just looking for clarity, and just breathing, counting to 10, closing your eyes, and just being one with yourself and your thoughts is really useful for your day-to-day venture. So I think it has both a physical and mental component that really helps the average citizen. Anyone can do yoga. We do yoga in prisons in Alabama. They do it at universities. Football players do it at Auburn in Alabama. So I just think that it's something that everyone can embrace, and without feeling like they're going to be converted into Hinduism. I thought that was really a silly thing to say when you have Christians and all kind of religions that take on this practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I would stand up and give you a standing ovation, but my knees hurt.
Representative.
That was my first time watching that. I usually don't watch.
You don't even
my
watch
own
it.
stuff.
Like
yeah,
me,
I don't.
You don't even like to watch it.
But that was pretty good.
Man, look, that's my favorite interview I've ever seen you do.
You was on point now, boy.
You made Open Like a City Schools look good, man.
Yeah,
you just put out them SAT words, boy, your constituents.
That boy read that dictionary for you went on there, bro. That boy got that Wikipedia.
I said, yeah, boy, my boy make us look good at Alabama, boy. Like Coach Sweeney say, Alabama got the most A's in it. It's the smartest state.
That's right.
That was up though, bro.
Yeah, bro. What you got going on, Jizzle?
Man, grinding, bro. Still, man, it ain't stopped, bro. Steadily every day, bro. So it's just, we at the mile marker now, man. We got about to put in cruise control on that thing. So everything coming to fruition, man. Just getting the rest of these visuals lined up, man, so we can hit it so the drop is more strategic this time, and just having everything lined up for the go around, man.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So as everybody who's watching this probably know, episode 4, we had the legendary Clifton Powell on. And Brother Gray wasn't on. So, after we got off, me and the OG, we had a talk. He enjoyed it. I think he actually said it while we was doing the podcast that he wanted to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But we had another conversation, and he was saying, like, let's do it ASAP while, we got the time to do it. So we got him back.
It was dope, by the way. I checked it out. It was dope, man.
Yeah, bro.
I was kind of jealous. I missed it. I was jealous. I missed it.
You sitting you be watching like, hey,
I'm glad y'all decided to bring them back.
Yeah. So now we got the OG on, so you can ask him some questions too.
That's right.
So without further ado, man, let me bring him in from the green room. Somebody bring
him in, please.
Somebody bring him in from the green room.
There you go.
What's going on?
OG.
It's sunny in my hotel room. That's why I got these
clean.
Daddy.
What's going on, everybody? Y'all good? I
Man,
know
we
y'all
glad,
see
bro.
the big ass glasses he got on. I feel like Ray Charles a little bit. Shut up.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. Trying to fit the role.
No, do this, do baby. So how's everybody? Everybody good?
Man, yes,
Bless.
sir, man. We're just
Bless.
celebrating our brother, Representative Gray, man, and all his
Man,
accomplishments.
congratulations. I had a chance to see that, man, and I think it's you know, the Republicans are really interested, man, because they'll throw doo-doo in the game anytime they can, man. You know,
Right.
when I grew up, they call it throwing doo-doo in the game. Ain't nobody no Hindu or none of that nonsense because you want to take yoga, man. I mean, you know, stuff like that really gets under my skin because, you know, they don't seem to have a problem with all these people that breach the Capitol, you know, but they got a problem with everything else, man. And teaching yoga in the schools, man, I've been praying and meditating for the last 35 years, every day of my life, you know, and yoga and meditation is a great way to, you know, relieve anxiety and deal with anxiety, especially all the things that we've been going through, man. So I take my hat off to you, brother.
Thank you, OG, man. Hey, that's a good plug because that's all I was saying. Everyone can use it in their life. And so why not start early? All the trauma that we go through as children, growing up in poverty, I mean, I think it's an outlet.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
definitely an outlet, and I think it's an outlet that hasn't been utilized enough in schools. You know, when you take drama class, you know, you always, you know, do a little bit of, you know, lay on your back and do a little deep breathing and get your nerves together and all that stuff. And a lot of basketball players, some guys listen to music, some guys like to sit by themselves. I know when my son Clifton was playing, I told him, I said, son, just get on the bench, sit there for like 5 minutes, just deep breathe. That's the same as meditation. That's the same technique you use in yoga. So it's a great tool for young kids, man. You know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And
man.
some of y'all Republicans out there ought to try and stop hating on everything. And to tell them I said it. Y'all can't do nothing.
I got you.
Tell them I
Y'all
said
can't do nothing to
Hey,
people.
my OG said it now. Hey, no problem.
Tell them to stop throwing doodle in the game.
You know, I want to say this last thing. I have a lot of my friends who smoke weed. I don't knock nobody for what they do. But I told a young lady earlier, I said, if you really want to be in this business, in the beginning of this business, you really got to be focused, man. When I first got into this business, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything, man. I was so focused. And I understand that, you know, there are different types of marijuana now. When I was coming up, you had one type. It just messed you up and you was paranoid all week. Now you have now you have medicinal. You know, they had the old school. That old school stuff was one puff, man. You done for like the week. and so, you know, the medicinal stuff is for relaxation, for, you know, your bones and for your joints and help you sleep. And I get that. But what I said to the young lady, and when I teach, is I advocate, you know, no drugs of any kind, because the focus, as you know, Jock, to get into this business and be successful, especially in the beginning, you got to be so focused. And I think I always tell my students, try meditation and yoga. I push yoga whenever I teach. I say, try meditation or yoga to help you deal with the early anxieties of being broke as hell, to you having your family tell you ain't never gonna make it, all your friends going, you know, he can't act, he ain't gonna make it, but we still gonna go to his little play. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, I've been homeless 4 times. I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, we come out of it and we just saw, you know, DMX, God rest his soul, Jay, I think it was Master P saying we need a union. So there needs to be things like yoga and meditation in place to help us as alternatives to all the other vices that we could get into, something healthy like meditation and yoga. So that's really from how I teach.
No, what's up?
OG, you the plug, man. You did a commercial on yoga, man. You can make everybody in Alabama want to do yoga with what you just said.
And you're gonna have some of them Republicans in the class saying, you know, I'm sorry I said that about it being Hinduism.
I'm sorry, brother.
I feel so much better. My marriage is better. My love life is better. I'm not smoking weed and taking Darbarns as much as I used to. You're gonna have a lot of people, man. But you know, Jock knows when I talk about it, I talk from my heart, man, and I talk about the techniques that helped me stay at 65, that took me through the tough times, man. where I didn't turn to drugs and hard alcohol, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
definitely,
you
man.
go.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially it's gonna be a dope tool for the kids that have never been introduced to it, like the young kids. Because when I first started doing it, I experienced the most like benefits from it when I first started, like in college.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I'm happy they passed that thing, man.
And I have a question, John. Did it help you with your focus in football?
Yeah, it actually helped with
Life.
focus in football and the classroom. Because I didn't realize that I was like losing focus. You know what I'm saying? As much as I was it, because it was norm. It was my form of normalcy. So when I started, like our head coach made the whole team do yoga on Mondays, and like I realized like when I would go to class on Tuesdays or when I would go to study hall on Tuesday, I would just feel like so much better. So I was like, I talked to the instructor. I was like, what can I do at home? Because I can't do all of these stretches that you put us through, but what can I do at home to like help during the week? And she just told me like, you know, the breathing was the main thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, just getting to a quiet place and focus and meditating. So yeah, man, I'm an advocate for it.
And then, I'm gonna jump in real quick and say, and all of us, like y'all from down Alabama and North Carolina, I'm from DC, the hood. I never heard of yoga.
Me neither.
No, us neither. Now, don't get twisted.
We all come from the hood. I ain't never seen nobody that did no yoga. I didn't know what yoga was. I thought it was a dance or something. I'm like, do the yoga. Like I knew about Yogi Bear, but I didn't know about
Yogi Bear.
So you know, it's the good thing is happening now, man. As wellness is being introduced into our inner city neighborhoods and how we eat and how we meditate and how we pray and how we take care of our wellness. So hopefully that's something good that will come out of the pandemic. You know.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. So last time we showed some clips, and it was one clip that we were looking for. That I think a lot of people, I remember seeing it because my grandma watched the film and I watched it with her. But a lot of people have not seen this film, and I think a lot of people should go and watch it. And it's called Selma Lord Selma. And the OG played the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and did a phenomenal job, by the way. So I want to play a clip from that, and then we can go into like the process of how you got that and the process of you know, you actually taking on a role. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
More than ever, we need God's blessing here today. Yes. Amen. Lord, hear our prayer. We come asking you to give us strength. Let us look hatred in the face, love in our hearts. You're with us, watching over us. Amen. Each one of you needs to look into your heart. Decide whether you want to carry on with this month.
We going.
I'm telling you right now, we're not going to let any cross burning stop us. We're not going to let any hatred stop us. We're not going to let nothing turn us around. No, sir. We're moving on.
Yeah, bro.
I like that.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I ever told you this, OG, but the first thing I ever did as an actor, because I knew at 6 that I wanted to be an actor, right? And the first thing I ever did was in the second grade, I was Martin Luther King in like the school play, right? And it was like the Black History play, and we had like Charles Barkley, Martin Luther King, Malcolm, all these people. And they gave me MLK. So I went home and told my mama, like, I want to learn the whole I have a dream speech. So she made me like sit down at the table every day after school until I remembered it. And when it was my time to say my 2 lines, I went up there and did the speech. Like the teacher was like, man, what is wrong with this little kid? Like, who told him to do the whole speech? So yeah, man, I love that.
Yeah. For me, watching that is, it's again, if people only knew what I went through to get the roles that I got early on in my career, a lot of this stuff, Job, this has been probably, I said last time, one of the most interesting podcasts I've done, because you ask so many poignant questions and you find clips that are very emotional for me, but that movie was an honor for me to do. Because I mean, how do you not be honored to play such a great man as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But the way I got the role, they brought me in, and they didn't even. Reuben Cannon asked me. He said, "Cliff, what are you doing here? You play gangsters. How'd your picture come across my desk?" I said, "I don't know, Reuben, but I'm here, so let me do it." And unfortunately for me, they said they had somebody else in mind. They had a bigger name in mind, So I think when we talked about last week, Job, we talked about actors being prepared. And so, when I went into the room, so I said to Reuben, well, Reuben, I'm here. Just let me try it. He said, well, Cliff, honestly, they got a bigger name and, that they want for Dr. King. I said, well, Reuben, I'm here, man. It can't hurt now. Just let me try. So I stayed up the night before all night long, and I studied Eyes on the Prize. Because, when you get the call that you were going to come in to audition, you think, oh, they saw your picture and they said, oh, Cliff Powell's right for this. That's not what happened. My picture came across Reuben Cannon's desk by accident for this role. He casted me in Why Do Fools Fall in Love and Buffalo Soldiers and Women That Are Loose, but I don't think he had in mind, because the producers wanted a bigger name, for me to be Dr. Martin Luther King. So once you understand that in your mind, when you go in the room, you're already biased, but you just have to do your work. And so that's what I'm leading up to. Do the work. Just like I said last week or week before last, when we met last, I was the last choice for Cuddy and Dead Presidents, but I memorized Cuddy all night long. And when they gave me a chance to do Cuddy, which I had to beg them to do, and rightly so, because they had other people in mind for the role, that's how I've been able to sustain a career or build a career. So I went in the room, and the producers had never seen my work. They'd never seen me on Rock or Minister Society or anything like that. And they said, we're going to be honest with you. We really are not interested in you for Dr. King. We have a big star in mind. I said, well, I'm here now. You don't have anything to lose. So let me just read it. And so me staying up all night long and memorizing Eyes on the Prize. And then I went out and bought me a suit, and I cut my mustache just like Dr. King's. And I did his sermon, the last sermon that he had. And, I want people to understand the training. When I first started in acting, this is how I sounded. Hi, my name is Clifton Powell. I'm gonna be an actor. I'm from Washington. I'm from Washington, D.C. Washington Redskins fan. I'm technically, Washington, D.C. is below the Mason-Dixon line, which is technically in the South. And so I took 4 years of speech. So when I was in a room, I asked them to do this. So I started out and I said, and that's why I tell people to take their training. So and sitting up all night and studying Eyes on the Prize, not only did I study his voice and his diction, but I watched his mannerisms. I watched Dr. King, because oftentimes we saw Dr. King just doing sermons. But Dr. King was a practical joker. He smoked cigarettes sometimes. He was one of the guys. He was always, they were always having pillow fights and all kinds of stuff. And he had a really fun, crazy, wild side to him. So I tried to capture all of that. And so when I started ringing, I said, nah, it doesn't matter what happens now. We've got some difficult days ahead. like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And as I got to the end of the speech, they said, listen, you're going to be Dr. King. We're just not sure how we're going to work it out. And then I stayed in the room and I said, thank you, Jesus. Somebody said to me the other day, we need to slow down. Well, the problem with slowing, and so all of that comes in when I talk to young people about training. So, and that's why, you know, I love coming on your show, Jock, because you're an actor and you understand the progression. And that's all it is. So when young people see me in a role like Selma, Lord Selma, and then when I got to the set, first they didn't want to pay Disney didn't want to pay my quote. So I told Disney basically to kiss my ass, but they didn't hear me say that to them personally. And I'm sorry, I'm just telling you how I said it. So my manager called me, and my quote at the time probably was $10,000 a week. Disney only agreed to pay me $6,000 a week, take it or leave it. So when my manager called me, I was like, you know what? F Disney, they can kiss my ass. I don't care. And she said, well, I hear you, but you're talking about Disney television. I said, and I don't give a F. She said, well, I do. And you're going to do this piece. I said, come on, you know, I mean, it's so disrespectful. I did Martin Luther King damn near just like Dr. King was alive.
Right.
What do I have to do? She says, just the way it is. But you're going to do this role. It's too important. So I took the role. They didn't want to give me a real trailer. They didn't want to give me, so the producers basically gave me a lot of their stuff. And then my first couple of days on set doing Dr. King, God bless his soul, the director, Charles Burnett, pulled me aside and he took me in a room. He says, hey, and he's a very soft-spoken guy. And I'm telling this story because one of the reasons why I wanted to come back, Jock, is to help people understand how I have eked out a career with all the no's, with all the rejections, being told you're too dark or you're too this, but I never stopped in the process behind every role that you guys see. So Charles Burnett, I'm doing Selma. I'm only getting nowhere near my quote. I'm barely got a trailer. And Charles Burnett said, well, one of the executive at Disney, and the Disney people might be listening. They probably never heard this shit either, but I still don't give a F. Because I made a decision long ago that I wasn't going to be totally controlled by this business, but there's some things I felt like playing Dr. King, if that's what it took to bring his character to fruition in such an amazing role for me, I said, you know what? I'll do it for no money. I ain't tripping because it's Dr. King. Had it been like Pookie Johnson or somebody like that, I probably would have told him to kiss my shiny butt. But Dr. King is still an honor. So so Charles Burnett took me in a room and he said, listen, they think you're being too slow and too deliberate as you're doing your sermons as Dr. King. So I said, then you know what, Charlie, tell Disney they can kiss my ass again. And he got upset. And he said,
that's Disney calling you. That's Disney calling you.
Calling me saying, that's Disney calling me saying you ain't never gonna do no more Disney movies. No, it's probably a black person from Disney calling me saying, hey, we appreciate you telling the truth. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah, they like truth now.
Yeah, they want the truth. You know. So I gotta send a text. And so what happened was Charles Burnett said to me, Cliff, they don't want to see any blood on Bloody Sunday. How you think I feel? I said, wow. I said, you know what, Charlie, I'm done. I don't even want to do this movie. He said, no, you can't quit. I said, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I know what I'm doing. I'm a trained actor. I said, so if Disney don't want me, let them find somebody else. He said, no. We're not going to do it like that. We are going to, hold on, let me send this. Somebody called me from work.
Oh, yeah, you got to answer that.
Hold on. Shut up. So the last part of it is, I said, so Charlie, what's the compromise here? Because I'm ready to go home. He said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the sermons 3 ways. We're going to do it your way, my way, and we're going to do it the Disney way. So when you saw that speech out there, that little sermon, I had to do it 3 different ways. When you watch the movie, there's a scene in the church where I had to do it at the funeral. I had to do that 3 different ways. I had to do it my way, a little faster for the Disney way, and then Charlie had his cut, his take.
And that's a long. That was a long one too.
That's a long one, and so I had to do that 3 different ways. Which the point that I'm making here is, I just want people to understand, you know, what I've gone through to get a lot of these roles, and I'm blessed to still be in the business. But it's been quite a journey, man, and it's been, you know, and you look at things like that, it brings back all those memories. So all I can say to young actors out there is be prepared and find a way to compromise on some level if it doesn't take away your integrity and your internal self and your spirit and your soul. And that's why you saw me on the movie. But it was quite a chore, you know, but it was Dr. King and it was rewarding.
Yeah,
Crazy,
brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. When you told me that story about how you went in the room and did the sermon, I was like, man, we got to put this on the podcast. I have got to find that clip.
And you know, the thing is, and the reason why, if you have children, you should let your children watch it. It's the civil rights movement from the children's perspective. It's a really wonderful piece. And of course, you saw Journey Smollett in there, you know?
Yeah. Who hasn't stopped working since.
Who hasn't stopped working since. Isn't that something?
Yeah. She is a beast. I love her. So, okay. We did the Martin Luther King. You did Martin Luther King. I did Martin Luther King. Now, another thing that I mimicked growing up when I seen the performance was a role that you mentioned earlier. Cuddy.
What was that?
Okay.
Now, when I seen Cuddy is the character that you're supposed to dislike, but you like him though. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Bane in the Batman movie, or Killmonger. You know, and Black Panther. You're supposed to dislike him, but you kind of like him. That was Cuddy for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you like Cuddy?
Man, what? I mimicked Cuddy as a kid. Like, hey, listen here, young blood. Like, come on, man. Hold on, man. Let me pull Cuddy up for the people, man. If y'all don't know who Cuddy is.
Hey, young blood. Bringing in the groceries, huh? Lord have mercy. Man, I remember when I was married, I used to love to bring home the groceries. Made me feel real good. Like a man. Know what I mean? Hey, listen, young blood, I just dropped by to see Juanita and Sarah, you know, lay a little something on them. And,
Stop by to see my baby. Just that right.
You know, young blood, I took care of your woman and your baby when you went to war. Now, a man ought to get a little respect for something like that. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I care about Juanita. I care about a whole lot. But you back now. And I'm gone. So from this point on, you should consider me like a friend of the family. You find yourself in a jam and shit, need a little cash, you come see me, I'll front you.
Keep your shit.
Listen, brother, I know about pride, but you got mouths to feed. Now I laid a little cash on Juanita.
Say, man, stay the fuck away from my family.
What did you say?
You heard me, goddammit. I said stay the fuck away from my family.
See, I ain't the enemy, young blood. I don't want no trouble.
Yes.
I tried to be a friend, motherfucker. Surprise, nigga. Big bad Marine. Look at you now. Does she suck you? Fuck you. Make you feel like a man. Make you feel real good. Homeboy.
That's all we're gonna give him. That's all we're gonna give him. Hey, listen. Hey, listen, man. I mimic Cuddy. Like, I used to be walking around the house saying the words that I could say, because, you know, Diane wasn't playing that, but, you know. Hey, listen. I ain't the enemy, young blood. Like, just, you know, it's kind of like we talked about last time, like the coloring, the diction, you know what I'm saying, the demeanor, just who Cuddy was. When I thought about a smooth player that, you know, he was a player, but he ain't take no mess, I thought about Cuddy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, that's legendary right there for me. What was your experience with that one?
It wasn't quite as bad as Selma, Lord Selma, but I'd done Menace to Society with the Hughes brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chauncey,
yeah. And you know, the thing about Chauncey is, if it, you know, Tupac got into a fight with the Hughes brothers, and he got fired on the movie, and then Too Short was supposed to play Chauncey, but Too Short was like, I ain't really trying to have all them damn lines. And so I was at a party that Wesley Snipes had given, you know, and I'm new to LA, and I'm excited. And this partner of mine, who's one of my dear friends now, his name is Alonzo Brown. He said, "Yo, nigga, ain't you that nigga to play on rock?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, shit, they cashing this thing called Dead Presidents, man. You need to get in on that." So he made a call, man, and got me no, they were casting I'm sorry, this movie called Menace to Society. I really had never heard of it. He said, "Well, man, you need to get in on that thing." So he made a call to the casting people, man, and they agreed to see me. You know, so I came in, and I read. I asked them if I could read for Chauncey, and I read for Chauncey, and I had them laughing, and I really don't even remember what I did. They said, "Okay, well, you're gonna be Chauncey." So I thought when Dead Presidents came up, they would remember, you know, the whole experience that we had on Menace, and they did, but they had so much stuff going on that I kind of see the cracks, you know? So I got a call for Cuddy, not for Cuddy, for Spider, who had one line, and Cowboy, who had a bunch of shit, but they already had Terrence Howard in mind.
That was Terrence Howard, yeah.
So I called my manager and I said, "I just read the script, and who's playing this guy named Cuddy?" She said, "Well, no, Cuddy has already been promised to a big name star." I said, "Okay, well, I want to read Cuddy. Cuddy seems like the most interesting character." So she said, "I don't know." So again, I stayed up all night long and I memorized Cuddy. I stayed up all night long and I memorized Cuddy. And I woke up the next morning. I went to the thrift shop. I had one suit. There was a wool suit. And I damn near died in the suit because it was like 95 degrees out in LA. I mean, I was so goddamn hot by the time I got to the goddamn audition. I was like almost exploded because you can't wear wool in LA in the summertime. You just can't. You can't do it unless you're black and you're from the hood like me. So I picked up a Dob hat to go with my wool suit for Cuddy. And then I picked up a cowboy hat for Cowboy. And then I got an eye patch. I got an eye patch for Spider. So I went in the room and I read Spider's one line. "Man, you better shut the hell up. Thank you, that was great." I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there going, these are the same guys that just put me in Menace to Society. Guys, come on, man. So then I went back out. I come back in with my cowboy hat on to read for Cowboy. And I read Cowboy and I knew I wasn't Cowboy. So I asked them, because the Hughes brothers are twins, they're like almost identical twins. So after I did Cowboy, I left the room, somebody else came in, and I was like, man, I gotta ask these guys if I can read Cuddy. So I saw one of the brothers coming from the bathroom. I didn't know which one it was, Albert or Alan. I said, listen, I want to read for that guy Cuddy. He says, oh man, we got a star's name in mind for Cuddy. It's not gonna work out for you, Cliff. I said, but just let me try it. Said, oh man, honestly, Cliff, it's just not gonna work, bro. We gotta offer out to a star. I said, I know. I said, I understand that, bro. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I said, but let me just read it. And finally, we sitting at the table. They just said, all right, man, read it. And I did it just like you saw it. And after the audition, they said, fuck.
He got it. He got it again.
You're going to be Cuddy. You're going to be Cuddy. Let us try to go back and work this shit out, man. God. All right, thanks.
That's your story right there.
And by the time I got home, they had called me for Cuddy.
That's your story,
so
man. That's
what
crazy.
happened was, the people don't understand, Cuddy was supposed to be a numbers runner. See, back in my day, when black people played the numbers guy was always a smooth cat like me, you, Jock, smooth. He might have drove a Jaguar, he had no Cadillac, he had a briefcase, but he was a smooth cat. And I think somewhere in a translation, Cuddy became like this, like almost like this pimp-like character, because I kind of did my nails kind of long, and then I had the finger wave. And I don't think, looking back on that role, that I totally understood that wasn't a look for Cuddy. He should have looked more conservative, maybe a fade, maybe a goatee, but not the fingernails and all that. But anyway, we went with it and it caught on. And then I added the voice. I was playing around with voices, and I was like, hey, baby girl. So I kept that in there. And then there's a scene where I have a lollipop. I don't know if everybody remember.
Yeah, that's legendary.
A lot of the young actors don't remember Telly Savalas with the bald head, who always had a lollipop. So I'm at lunch at 3 o'clock in the morning at lunch, and I reached in my pocket and realized I had taken a lollipop from dinner, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna use it in the scene. So that's how the lollipop came about, and that's how I got Cuddy. And Cuddy, that role literally, along with Rock, changed my along with Rock and Menace, kind of shot Cuddy and Menace and Rock, that kind of shot me out of Hollywood right there. And then I just went on an incredible role. So it's all God's work, bro. And it's and really, it's a lot of information. I don't mean to be too long-winded, but I want you guys to understand, it's training, preparation meets opportunity. If you remember what I said about playing Andre Thompson on Rock, it was supposed to be a cracked out crackhead. I came in looking like a crackhead. And they said, they got Charles Dutton said, they got a real crackhead out in the hallway. I had on dirty clothes. I blackened my teeth. I looked like a cracked out crackhead. But the real bottom line is that when those lines came, I had to bring the fire. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Respect.
Okay, so we already got it out there that we got one thing in common. We all black. We all from the hood. We all grew up in certain circumstances. But when it comes to us, like just say you got us, you got me who's an actor, you got Jizzle who's an artist who does music.
Yes, sir.
You got Jeremy who's a politician.
Yes, sir.
So the people who are watching us, you know what I'm saying, are looking up to us. You probably got some people who want to be an actor, some people who want to do music, and definitely some people in Opelika, Alabama, where we're from now, that are going to be politicians. What's some advice that you could give to us and those who want to be like us? What's something that one piece of advice, or it can be more than one piece, that can help us along the way in these trajectories that don't necessarily come easy?
Right.
Well, I think that I'm going to try not to get too long-winded here, because again, like when one of the reasons why I don't do this, probably be the last podcast I do, is I want to do a one-man show called An Evening with Clifton Powell, because it's you see how big and round my head is. A lot of information in here, man. Because I started at the bottom, you know, and I started at the bottom, and I had to work harder than everybody else. I was the worst actor in my program. I want, again, like I said last week, I wanted to be a football player. I never wanted to be an actor. So I never approached the business with that kind of passion. But once I got in it, I remember my dad saying, where there is a will, there is a way. And my dad used to always say, my dad was only, you know, he's a little guy. He's only 5'3", and he was, you know, he was not a very learned man. He didn't have anything but a 4th grade education. And before I go right here, Jock, I got to do something off the cuff, because, you know, when I tell these stories, I get emotional. But I want to give a shout out to my son, Clifton Powell III. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday.
Oh man, shout out to Clifton, man. I gotta call him.
I meant to do that earlier, Jock, but as I was talking about my dad, I realized today is my dad's grandson's birthday. So
I gotta call him, yeah.
That's you, Cliff Powell. So this is my advice. One is 2 kinds of black men. It's light-skinned black men and it's dark-skinned black men like us. Now, we all black men, but there's a certain connotation that I put on dark black men. And you can call in and you can say Mr. Powell is being racist. I don't care. I know what I've been through. It's not our fault. With slavery, one of the psychologists said African-American people are suffering from 400 years of post-slavery PTSD. And what happened during slavery, as we know, the light-skinned African-Americans were in the house. The dark-skinned guys, our complexion and below, and I got this light on me, it makes me look a little redder. I'm as dark as my man in the corner right there. and I've been told that I was too black and too dark, and I was going to scare everybody in commercials and television movies that I've been up for. So that's all in the past. You know, I'm sure when Sydney had started, they thought he was too dark. But you can't stop time, y'all. We coming. Strong black folks are coming. And racism is dying. And you better choose love, or else we're going to wipe you out off the planet with all that hate.
Yes,
Trust me when I tell you. And I grew up in the 60s, and I remember when they blew Kennedy's head off, and they killed King, and they killed Robert, and they killed Malcolm. But you can't stop love. You can't stop it. So all you Republicans, all you racist Trumpers, either get on board with love or get out of this country, because we're going to move you out of the way. I just want to get that out there. What we have to do is understand the dichotomy that we face amongst ourselves. One, we got to stop killing each other. And 2, as African-American men, we got to figure out how to get these fathers back in the homes, or if not, connect these fathers back to their children, because we all need our mothers, and we really need our mothers and our fathers to keep these young African-American men and women on point. The thing that I would say is the through line is you have to make a decision to do good. You have to make a decision to do good and to want to be good and to want to stay out of trouble. That's the first thing I'd say. So if you're running with a group of people that want to go do this over here or want to do this over here, they call you a punk or they call you a square, so what? Because I ran with that crowd, and I knew once they turned that corner and went to rob that store, my ass went home, because I knew my father was going to tear my butt up.
Right.
Yes,
and I knew once my dad got finished with me, my sister was going to get me, and then my cousin Francis was going to get me, and then my big brother Daryl, who was like my mentor and my guardian, he was going to. I had to get 4 spankings. So that kept my mind in the right place.
Yeah.
2, I think we got to do what my politician brother up there said. We got to, Jeremy, we got to get some prayer and yoga and meditation in the minds of men and women of color, because we got to get away from using alcohol or drugs to sedate our pain and to calm our anxieties about our fears of being African-American in this system. And then you have to make a decision that you're going to Keep going no matter what anyone says, no matter whether your family doesn't like you, whether your mom and dad don't like you, whether your aunties don't like you, your cousins, you gotta push through it. You gotta keep on going. And once you get there, as you know, Jeremy, you have a responsibility because you're now a role model.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go hang out at night and get hot like everybody else, bro.
That's true.
And you can't snap out and smack your wife in the face. The odds are already stacked against us. So the things about, I've already been up against that wall, and I had to make a decision to take the high road. So I always tell my students and I tell my friends, get this book. It's called The Road Less Traveled by Dr. Scott Peck. And you
The
gotta
Road
take
Less Traveled.
The Road Less Traveled by Dr. Scott Peck. And that book talks about the choices that successful people make who make it through being successful and don't burn out at the end. You have to live a certain way. And
Yes,
that's my suggestion to anybody that's in the arts, anybody that's in politics, anybody that wants to come into the arts. You gotta make sure you know how to lead the right kind of life, man. And it's not easy. You're looking at me after I got caught up in the game. I got caught up in the business. I lost $5 million in my divorce. I was running around. I was gambling. I was drinking. I had a lot of women. I had a lot of fun. And I talked about it on the Wendy Williams show. So the things that I say, it's not something I haven't lived. I got lucky. That's all I'm gonna say. I got lucky, and the only thing that saved me was I didn't do cocaine. But women in the entertainment lifestyle became my drug, and I had to take myself out of it to reinvent myself. I had to hit rock bottom. When I came again, I don't know if I said this last week. I know I've said it before. When I came to Atlanta 6 years ago, I was homeless. I was broke, run out of money. And nobody felt bad for me. Most of the people that started on this journey with me in 1979 are all out of my life, including one of my sons. And I just tell the truth, man. I'm not no movie star. I'm a working actor. I'm blessed, but I've been through some trials and tribulations. But what I've learned is nobody does anything to you is what you allow. And one of the reasons I talk about this, and one of the reasons I want to do a one-man show, and I take my hat off to Master P, talking about, some of the musicians and rappers and artists. We need a union, and we have SAG, but we need more. We need a union to help us how to handle our money, help us how to handle our marriages and our personal lives, help us how to handle the people that try to set us up. It's a lot of stuff, man. And as a politician, as a musician, as an actor, it's all out there waiting for us. And we have to try to surround ourselves with good family, with good men and women. And we have to try to make the right decisions. And you're looking at a guy who, all I can say, it was just the grace of God, because I was at the edge. 17 years ago, 12 years ago, I was on the edge. I had so much going on. And I'm going to say this last thing before I go. I have never said it publicly. I'm going to say it now. I was having so much fun. And the only thing that saved me was the drug. Well, I didn't do drugs, but I had the women, I was smoking a little weed. I was drinking, and I was on the move. I was hot as a firecracker. And I traveled with 4 women. I was juggling 12. Out of 12, 8 were bisexual. And I brought all the women, I brought all the liquor, I brought all the money. Everybody gambled on my money. Everybody partied on my money. Everybody had fun with my girls. And I burnt out. And I was doing a show at the Warner Theater in DC. And I had a big birthday party the night before. And I had all my girls there, I had all my boys. We all had fun. We all drinking. And I was supposed to be at the theater the next day at 3:30, 3 o'clock for the show. I was going to play with Shantae Moore and Kenny Lattimore. And I've never talked about this. I wanted to save it for my show, but you guys are so engaging. I want you guys to take this away and understand what the OG has been through and how I had to change my life. And so I didn't get to sleep until the next day at 2:45. and I was supposed to be at the theater at 3 o'clock. And I got to the theater, and you know, people all around the room, everybody drunk, and it was a crazy scene. And the night before, like I said, we had a big party at one of the big clubs. I got out of the limo bus, man. It was 1,000 people on the sidewalk. Clifton, we was in DC. Clifton Powell, Clifton Powell. And you going to, I mean, it's like the vitamin A to your ego. And
Yes,
you know, this
sir.
is where you grew up. This is where you struggle. This is where you've been homeless, been poor. Your mom, your dad, all your dreams, your high school people, they all came out, man. And I partied that night. We partied and we had fun that night. And I got to the theater, and I'm gonna stop here. And I looked in the mirror, Jock, and my eyes were orange. And I was dehydrated. And I was a half a second from passing out. And I looked in the mirror and I started crying. And I said, God, if you get me through this show, because if I pass out in DC, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. My kids, my family, everybody sees me as squeaky clean. If I pass out, I'm not gonna make it. I said, let me get through the show. And I swear I'll change my life. And what I did was I splashed water on my face for like 45 minutes because I was going on after intermission. And I drank a gallon of water. I did the show. I came home, kicked everybody out, and I started walking my life down to where I am right now. No alcohol. I drink light wine every now and then, no cigars. I cut down on my gambling. I got rid of all the women. I cleaned my life out, and then I hit rock bottom in LA before I came to Atlanta, before I started Saints and Sinners, and I had to change my life. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I ran into a minister who prayed for me. He says, sometimes God has got to put you in a mess to clean you up. So take what I'm saying here. You guys are young. You got your whole life in front of you. Don't test this thing, bro. Because I'm a miracle. And I'm telling you, I am. I had enough fun. I should be dead. Because I can tell you, bro, I don't know how I did it. And it's a lifestyle that 70% of the NBA is broke within 7 years out the league. 90% of the NBA is broke within 9 years out of the league because you're making so much money. You got so many women, you got so many people, so many, I mean, it's a crazy, and we're not going to talk about all the old stars who died broke. So let that marinate, and let me be the inspiration for you three to keep your lives in order. You can still have fun. You can still have fun, but you don't want to go too far. So I say the same thing to Lil Clifton. I say the same thing to my guy Keith, who's my right-hand man. I went too far, but somehow the gods gave me a second chance. God gave me a second chance.
Man, listen.
That's a blessing right there.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that too. And,
hey, Jock, you know, it's you, Jock. It's you guys, because I love Black people, but I especially love Black men because, and I know the struggle. And like I made a comment this earlier, light skin, dark skin. No, I was saying we're all men. But I get discriminated a lot because as soon as they see me, they see a dark-skinned thug, you know, and they don't know they might not know who I am, you know. When I ride first class, you know, they think I'm steal all this stuff in first class or something, you know. so and we know Obama wouldn't have been president if he was my complexion or your complexion. Or Jerry.
No.
You know, they can't handle it. But they better get ready because it's coming. They better get ready for Black women, white women, Asians, Latinos, gays, straight. They all coming, man, because it's all about love. It ain't about it ain't about your sex and your nationality. It's about what's in your heart. So if there's anything you take from my story, everything in moderation. That's what an old guy told me years ago. He said, whatever you do. And so when I started going too far, something in my mind saved me. That's the only reason I'm sitting on this podcast right now. And that's it.
What's up, OG? Yes, sir.
Deep right there.
That deep right there.
Yes, sir.
It was God, man. I mean, you had more work to do. You know, you know your test became your testimony. Yeah. And now you're able to mentor guys like me, you know, who I've never tasted alcohol a day in my life, but you know, it's because I've seen and I continue to witness stories and You know, I feel like I struggled as a young man. I struggled with moderation. Like you just said, everything in moderation. So I feel like it would have been an issue for me had I, you know, drank or started smoking weed. So yeah, man, that's deep. That's powerful, bro. And I just feel like God.
Let me be clear right here. I know we all like a little glass of wine, a little Hennessy. You know, it's the new weed. It's for medicinal purposes. All I'm saying is don't go too far.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this,
anything.
With anything. The women,
Right.
you know, my drug was women, man. I mean, anything you do in excess becomes an issue. And as African-American men who are setting the bar for our kids that are trying to be role models, we have to be, we don't get a chance to take a day off. Jeremy, you don't get the chance to take a day off, bro.
I don't take none off.
and when you do, you got to make sure you stay within the right side of fun. That's all.
Right.
That's all it is. Look at Deshaun Watson, what he's going through. Now, we know that there are people I've been set up, that people will set you up.
Yep.
And he looks squeaky clean.
Yeah.
In this
you know, that's
era,
my little brother. So yeah, for sure.
Listen, in this era, you're guilty until you prove you're innocent. It's just
right. That's the crazy part.
It's just crazy. So I'm gonna stop here because, man, I love talking to you guys, man. And I wanted to come back. Just listen to the OG, man. I'm 65 and I've turned my life around and I'm blessed. The best thing that ever happened to me was hitting rock bottom because it changed my life, you know? So at the end of the day, it's just all part of the journey, and I'm blessed, and we all blessed. Just remember what I said, everything in moderation. And if you get stuck out there, get your ass out the mud and come on back home, fall on your knees, say, hey, I effed up, and then pick your ass up and get back on that train and keep on riding. That's what it is. It's not whether you fall, it's whether you get back up and you change your life. And you know, okay, I can't go out and have 10 drinks. I can have maybe 2, but I can't have 10. That's what we have to do as Black men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm done. Hello, somebody.
Hey.
Hey, amen.
We are here
around the collection plate
with my friend Jock McKissick and my friend Jeremy. We are saying to you this morning, ain't nobody gonna stop us. We're not gonna let no megaton bombs turn us around. We're marching on. Hey, you know what, man? I want to do a show. What Dr. King would have to say right now today with everything that's going on. What would Dr. King have to say about Black Lives Mattering, not just in America now, not just with Black people, but all over the world?
Yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that.
I got to go get me some material. You know what I'm saying? I start doing it right now. Mess up and say, I start cursing as Dr. King. I didn't like the fact that he said, God damn it, and he's supposed to be Dr. King. Dr. King did not curse.
Exactly.
I ain't messing with that.
Oh, man.
Man, yeah, that's dope, man. Like I said, man, I'm glad you came back on, OG. You know what I'm saying? To me, you said earlier you ain't a movie star. To me, you're a movie star. You know,
most definitely.
And that's coming from an actor. You know, you're one of my favorite actors. So,
thank you, brother.
And that ain't start once I met you. It was before I met you. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, bro, we got to give you your flowers. You know, your roses, your plants,
the petals,
everything. You know what I'm saying? Why you here?
I thank you, guys.
Bro.
And I want to say to my man Jizzle and Jeremy, hey guys, don't let nobody put no pressure on y'all.
Yes, sir.
I don't care if you had no daddy, no mama. My mother committed suicide when I was 4. My father was a functioning alcoholic. I was raising myself at 7. I told you, J.B. James Brown is my nephew. His uncle, his mom and I had the same dad, different mom, same mom, different dad. And she helped raise me. And I had angels. I had a brother, God rest his soul, Daryl Harvey, his mom, Imogene Johnson, who took me in. So as I teach and when I talk and when I do my seminars, I say, hey, I don't care what you come from. Where you at now? So you guys have a lot of pressure on you to be good role models. But don't put no pressure on yourself. Jock, you in the same boat. Don't put no pressure on yourselves. Just know that you heard the OG say, hey, you can have some fun, but you can't go too far.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm a Pisces. I have an addictive personality. You don't want to wait until you're almost 70 to turn your life. I just got right at 55. So I'm not going to sit on here and say I've been right since my 40s. I didn't get to Hollywood until I was almost 40. I didn't start making money until I was 46. And then I went on a roll, buddy.
And
I'm here to, I went on an impossible road. And somebody I heard Larry Fishburne talking to Wesley Snipes one time, and he said, hey man, handle this shit like a king. And I'm telling you, I lived like a king. And so when I hit rock bottom, I understood. So what I'm saying to you guys is, I don't want nobody to call in and say, oh, now he sound like he's want us to be a stick in the mud. Nope. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stop. Have some fun. Just in moderation. Don't go too far.
Yes,
bring it in.
Yes, sir.
And you gotta have that inside of your brain.
Gotcha.
You can't let it go. You can't get comfortable with it. You know, because one of those times you're gonna get out there too far. And we know some African American politicians. Is a brother a couple of years that got caught out there. And we're not gonna say went too far. Black entertainers, black and white, they went too far. I went too far. I'm a miracle. I wouldn't wish you or you. Don't do it. I'm telling you now, don't do it. And if you don't think you can handle it, get the hell out the kitchen. Go regroup. Go to therapy. Go get you some yoga and some meditation and go back to your family and do some therapy and get rid of all the stuff that's got you going too far because you're not gonna make it.
Yes, sir.
Hello, somebody.
We hear you.
Hello, somebody.
You dropping them gems.
It's preaching on this Sunday, man.
We are talking about keeping your life right.
Yes,
Our
sir.
sermon this afternoon is keeping your life right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, John, I'm not finna come mess with y'all no more because y'all get acting stupid.
Hey, listen.
This is a beautiful thing, man. You know, I never ever imagined, bro, that I would ever be an inspiration for anybody. I was cut up in school. I stayed in control. I don't know how in the hell I got to college. So the fact that I can lend inspiration, man, it's a miracle. What are you gonna say, John?
I was just gonna say that you're not only a legend to us, right?
Right.
You're a legend to the world, whether you want to be or not. And everywhere you go, you know, I've been in Atlanta with you several times. I've been in LA with you several times. Joseph was out here with you in LA, so he witnessed it firsthand. I've been in New Orleans with you. I've been all over the globe with you. And everywhere we go, Clifton Powell can't go nowhere without somebody asking for a picture. And without somebody telling him to say one word.
What is it, John?
And I'm not gonna say no more. I'm just gonna play the clip before we let him go. We're just gonna play the clip.
Hey, if I should just change my name to this Negro right here.
Well, I'm gonna show you how we do it up here in Pinkies, nigga.
I wasn't trying to rob.
Shut up.
Oh my God.
Up in your ass. Now what you done with Day Day and Roach?
Day Day is my
Shut up. Now who sent you, nigga?
Nobody sent me.
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over.
Over, nigga. It's over.
I ain't playing, nigga. Now. You ain't got no gun.
Where it's at?
Where the
weed at?
I ain't got no weed.
Shut the fuck. Shut.
Say.
No.
Ooh.
Oh shit. Say it again. Say something else. Oh. Say something else. Say something else, nigga. I'm gonna tie your old monkey ass up. Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. What a Sunday. What a Sunday, bro. What a Sunday, what a day, what a scene, huh?
What a guy.
What's up, hey?
Uh-oh.
Come on, young blood.
Oh,
Don't
punk
kill me,
ass
man.
bitch.
Shut up!
Hey, bro, come on, young
I've been
blood.
trying to tell your ass that Dad ain't my cousin. He in the back.
Whatever you say, baby.
Whatever you say.
I swear to God, man. The combination to the safe is 34, 5, 27, man. Just take it all, baby. It's all
baby
yours,
mom with
man.
a
Just
wife on
don't
the
kill
side.
me, please. I got kids, man. I got a motherfucking girlfriend. I got a wife on the side, man.
Shut up!
He said, a girlfriend and a wife on the side.
Oh shit! Hey, listen.
Oh my God, John, where you find
That's
this?
so original.
Man,
That's so
oh
original,
my
though.
goodness.
Man,
Hey, listen, bro. I don't
Oh my
care.
goodness.
I don't
I'm
care.
crying. That's why I put my glasses on.
I don't care how many times you watch that scene. You gonna laugh, yo. Like,
Bro,
man.
I've only watched this scene like maybe 5 times, but every time I watch it, I died laughing. And
That's crazy.
and it's just, again, it's a whole, we don't have time, but it's a whole story behind that scene.
Man,
That moment,
listen.
because they would get up a white actor to do a cameo, and somehow they called me. Kim Harden remembered. She said, "What about Clifton Powell?" And I had a meeting with Ice Cube, and then when I got on the set, I was not getting it. Me and Ice Cube were in the record shop, and if you know Cube, he's really quiet. And the first 5 or 6 times, just me and him, and I wasn't getting it. And I just stared him in the eyes like, "Please don't fire me, because I got bills to pay. I got a wife and a girlfriend and another wife on the side. Please do not let me go." Because Jock, in this business, you can get fired and you can finish your day, and then when you get home, they tell you fired. I'm like,
Yeah.
please don't fire me. So again, like I've been saying, it's preparation versus opportunity. So what happened was, after about 3 more times, I told Cube, I said, "Listen, man, because I had the pink suit on. So, because I was walking from my trailer to the record shop, and the kids were on the bus, and they were laughing so hard, the bus was shaking. Because I had on all pink, as black as I am. They thought I was a
Jerry curl. With a Jerry curl.
So we got in there. So anyway, make a long story short, I tried it 3 more times, and I didn't get it. And I could tell Cube was like, "This is the same Negro that played Cuddy. What was going on here?" So I said, "Cube, listen, man, I don't know what you need here. Why don't you take the gun and do something?" So he took the gun. He said, "I'll blow your head smooth off." And I don't, Jock, do you have that clip from the movie I did called The Breaks?
No, I don't got that one.
Oh my goodness. I played Pinky and didn't know it. So I remember from The Breaks, I did a scene. Should I shoot you, or should I shoot you? Or then I start spinning around, or should I shoot my damn self? And my mind back to that. And that's how I got Pinky.
Oh man.
Man, listen.
And that's what saved my butt. Thank you.
I'm surprised
that right there.
Q was staying serious during that part. I'm surprised he just
went. Man, Cube is really good, man. Cube is the straight man.
I don't know how he kept
a
a straight face, bro. And the whole thing, like
he said, "Don't move.
My God,
don't say
yo."
nothing else."
The funniest part is when he got the gun.
The funny thing is, people don't understand. People think I made that up. Cube is a brilliant cat, man. He wrote that. I didn't make that up. The only thing I added to Pinky was the physical jumping around. All the lines, you ask him a question. "Who sent you?" "Shut up."
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying, "Shut up." Second. All of that stuff is what I added. But Ice Cube with those lines, that's what makes it funny. On top of the movement, is the guy asks him a question, he don't give him a chance to answer.
Yeah, exactly. And he said,
Bro, it's just, man, I never know what's going to happen when you create these characters, man. But I can tell you, this is one character, bro, that has caught on around the world. I was in Biloxi, Mississippi, when it first came out. And, I'm not a big Southern guy, because I think they're going to lynch me as soon as they see me, And, anytime the cops stop me in the South, I'm like, "Sir, you ain't got to worry about me. I don't like black people either. Don't you worry about me, buddy." But tonight, Hey, buddy. Hey, I don't like no Negroes. I don't like no NIGGAs either, buddy. And I got a car, dude. And I'm talking like them. I'm like, buddy, let me tell you something, fucker. I was speeding, and you want to give me a ticket? It's all right with me, but please don't kill me. So I'm just on guard when anytime the rednecks come. So I'm sitting at the thing and gambling. Me and my son, my oldest son, and this white guy came over with about 6 white rednecks and 1 black guy, which I didn't understand why he was in it. And he said, "But who the fuck was that right there?" And I gotta I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss, John. That's the way he said it. He said, "Bubba, who is that right there?" He said, Bubba said, "Who you talking about, man?" "The guy right there at the machine." I said, "Hell, I don't know who he is." He kept looking. This really happened, bro. I'm telling you about 3. So it really happened. He said,
"You hear it all."
"You look at him right there. Look at him in his eyes, man. Who is he?" I said, "Sir, I'm just trying to win some money." He said, "That's fucking Panky." And he didn't call me Panky, he called me Panky. And then he left and came back with about 10 rednecks. He said, Panky. And when I say, dude, I'm sitting at the thing and I'm going, what in the hell kind of character is this that I created? So now, a year later, I'm in Vegas. And I'm sitting at the machine again. Me and my son were hanging out. And this Indian guy, oh my God. Oh, no. Are you Pinky? I said, "Excuse me?" He said, no. Oh my God. Are you Pinky? I said, "Am I who?" He said, "Are you Pinky?" I said, "Sir, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful." He said, "Oh my God. Punjab, come here. This is Pinky." And then Punjab come over. He says, "Oh, no. Oh my God. This is Pinky. Oh my God, Pinky, let me get a picture." And for the last 7 years, bro, everywhere I go, I'll be in the airport, people like, "Say it again. Hey, who's he to? No, hey." And I'm like, bro, I'm standing right here with y'all, guys. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, I played the guy. It's hilarious. I even signed Uncle Pinky, but Ice Cube is brilliant, bro. Let's speak on that, John. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is, bro. He is, bro. And for him to knock it out the park with his first script on Friday, man, that was like
out the park.
That's unheard of, bro.
Especially with that
So,
budget.
you know, he created all those stuff. I'm gonna tell you listen, I know y'all love Pinky, but let me tell you, my funniest part of that movie is Tupac when Terry Crews is in his Tupac. And he said, Tupac. Bro, when I say I can't sit down and watch that without, I dare go there wet myself, bro. And then
I like the way you so gangster, nigga.
When that Negro came to the party with the phone books on, bro, I swear to God to you, bro, I lost it. And then he said, "Who you gonna friend?" He said, "Oh, the pretty girl, you got to know that little Lucky Charm looking." And he pulled that little, he said, "Hey, man, I'm a boy." Bro, that's Ice Cube, and his mind is brilliant, bro.
Hey, he's talking about phone book. Nigga, I ain't in the phone book.
I ain't in the phone book.
Oh my God, bro. Man, when I say, man, I have so much love and respect for Ice Cube because, man, he writes that stuff, bro. And and people are coming to me every day. "Are y'all gonna do another Fridays?" Man, I can't wait for him to call me, bro. I know it's gonna be funny. It's gotta be funny.
Right.
Oh yeah, bro. Listen, man, that joint. Then when you came to the house party and Friday after next.
Hey, you had the baddest with you.
Oh, when I had my girl.
Had your girl with you. I call her Lollipop.
I call her Lollipop. And you know the funny, I tell you who else underrated, man. And I'm telling you, I know y'all, the people might get mad because everybody loves Chris Tucker. I love Chris Tucker too, but I thought Mike Epps did an amazing job, man.
Oh,
Mike
absolutely.
Playing that scary cop.
Oh,
you know that scary cop guy. That thing was hilarious. I mean, you know, he's just he embodies that physical comedy. He does great. I would love to see Chris Tucker, Mike Epps, Cat Williams, all of us come back and do something.
In a big, that'd be dope.
Man, that's the people's dream. It's for every character to come back.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Hey, I've done a lot of podcasts, bro. I have never in my life laughed this damn hard in my life, bro. I'm telling you.
Needed.
Oh man. That pink is man, when I had on the all pink, man, the little kids looked at me, just fell out. One kid was in the street, just fell out laughing. He wouldn't stop. I'm like, this be funny.
You knew it was a hit. You knew it was a hit there.
I knew it was gonna be a hit, man. I knew it was gonna be funny. But like I said, my character was Money Mike, and when that damn Terry Crews came in there with them phone book, the party, bro.
Them ass man phone, but no, he been in prison.
Oh my God! He said, the little Lucky Charm and pulled it. Hey man!
He talking about the Matrix.
Oh yeah, he said the Matrix.
The Matrix. Hey man, so I think a lot of times, man, like African American comedies, like get to kind of play too, because Ice Cube is brilliant, man. Like Mike Epps is doing a show right now called the what is it called?
The Upshaws.
The Upshaws. Man, that show's funny.
I watched the whole season in 2 days.
Man, that show is really funny. And what happens is, and that's why I said we got to stay on point, because that show may not get the kind of recognition that it deserves. If we go back and watch Saints and Sinners, been on 5 seasons. The mainstream hasn't found Saints and Sinners yet. It's an amazing acting on there, not just my work, but everybody. It's because, oftentimes we fall through the cracks, man, because we don't get the props we deserve. And you just can't worry about that. You got to keep on pushing.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're gonna let you go, OG, man. We know you got to get back to study.
I need a glass of red wine now, messing with y'all, brother.
Hey, that what you was sipping when y'all hit on, but with the car, eh? Y'all hit.
He was sort of
yeah. He was doing that yak, man.
Get your ass in the car, man.
You made me spill my yak, nigga.
Hit that little cripple boy.
That's a $200
And the limo driver said, "Man, F with you, Pink."
Oh no, Pink. Hey, hit that boy, Pink.
Hey, that's my other day. He hit the little boy with the little boy. Hey, Pete, what the hell wrong with you? Hey, man, all of that stuff, I add the physical stuff, but Q puts those lines down, man, which makes it so much, makes it easy to do once you get your rhythm, That's what it is,
That's dope.
Exactly.
But anyway, man.
Exactly, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to studying, man. We appreciate you again, bro, and I'm looking forward to seeing this project.
Brother Jeremy, Brother Jizzle, Brother Jock, listen, man, everything in moderation. Don't let nobody put no pressure on you, man. You gotta want to be the best, and you gotta want to. It ain't about other people. For me, it's about my pride. I want the best.
Yes,
I want to be a football player, but now that when I come to work, I try to be. And I learned this from JB. I learned how to be respectful to people, how to treat people the way I want to be treated. But what we have to do as Black men is we have to set the bar high on ourselves and don't put any pressure on ourselves. We are human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall down. Just don't stay down.
Right.
And then when you get back up, you got to make a decision to change your life and stick with it. And F what anybody else says. Take care of your family. Take care of your kids. And it ain't easy, bro. You're looking at me 7 years ago, I was homeless. And I had to make a decision to change my life and stick with it. And it's been the best decision ever. And I still have fun, but everything in moderation. God bless you all. Hey, man, thank everybody out there for watching all the work I've done.
Yes, sir.
John,
yes, sir.
They gonna get us in another scene one day, Jock. We gonna get Jeremy in there and Jizzle. We gonna find something.
Call me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if y'all drop y'all lines or something, we ain't gonna fire y'all.
Don't freestyle. Please don't
Y'all gonna be the producer, so don't worry. If y'all drop your line, just don't show up though. If y'all don't come, we gonna have to replace you. But
that's right.
I ain't gonna have no late nights, man.
Ain't gonna have no late nights.
That's right.
Hey, look. Hey, I'm gonna be in. I don't know what the next one gonna be called. I guess it's gonna be called Last Friday, maybe. I'm gonna be in that. I'm gonna be Debo's son.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Hey, oh my God, that would be hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I'm speaking it now.
Man,
he's speaking on it. Debo's son.
Yes, sir.
From Miss Parker. Miss Parker was secretly pregnant and had you years ago and didn't tell nobody. Hey, man, God bless y'all, man. I'm going back to work.
OG.
I had the greatest time. Jeremy, God bless you, man. Good luck to you.
Appreciate
Congratulations on passing your bill. Jay Jizzle,
yes, sir.
Stay strong in the game, baby.
Yes, sir.
Big Jock,
Yes, sir.
my man. I'll be out there soon, Jock. We'll talk.
Yeah, hit me up.
I'm gone.
All right,
OG.
Just like that. Hey, John, OG gave the GM of the day, dude.
Yeah, he gave everything.
That was the GM of the day right there, good.
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, bro. I don't think we need to say nothing else.
Hey, how you sign off?
Yeah. He gave us.
Hey, till next time.
Hey,
they elevated, my friends.
Yes,
sir. That's it.
Hey,
Catch y'all
boy,
episode 6. All right, love y'all.
In a minute, brothers.
All right.